In today's video, I am going to explain muscle anatomies that do upward rotation of scapula. Upward rotation is you move scapula this way. It's like this tip of scapula faces outward. This is upward rotation. By the way, the other way. This way is downward rotation. I'm gonna focus on this way. One place you should be aware of is about this place. It's a little bit hard to see. This part is axis of upward rotation and downward rotation. Actually, I checked up 2 anatomy books and none of them described kind of official statement of where that is. So this is approximate location. It's like a below spine of scapula, and it's like a 1/3 of scapula width. It's just below spine of scapula, and it's a little bit on medial part of scapula. This is where axis of upward rotation and downward rotation. Knowing this anatomy is very, very important to understand today's information. I'm gonna explain 2 muscles. First muscle is this one. This is trapezius. Trapezius. Then there are 3 fibers in trapezius. 2 fibers of 3 parts do upward rotation. First part is here. This is upper fiber. Next one is here. Lower fiber. Okay, upper fiber is a little bit easy to visualize. Let me clarify where the axis of upward rotation. It's about here. When upper fiber pulls scapula this way, now scapula moves toward upward rotation because vector of force is this way. So that moves scapula upward rotation. That makes sense. That makes sense easily. But how about lower fiber? Lower fiber runs like this way. How come this fiber brings scapula to upward rotation? Again, axis of rotation is about here. Let's say about here. Lower fiber attaches here. Most part of lower fiber is medial from axis, where maybe partially it's on right on the axis, but most of part is medial from axis of rotation. So that pulls scapula this way. What's gonna happen? What kind of direction does it make? It's for upward rotation. It's like a scratching direction. It's going this way. Imagine the whole contour of scapula is like this. Imagine. And the spine of scapula is like this. Then lower fiber covers scapula like this. If lower fiber pulls scapula this way, this is like a scratching movement, scratching vector of force, then what's gonna happen? Trapezius pulls scapula this way, then upward rotation happens. If, this is if story, if lower fiber attaches to all the way down to lateral part of scapula, then if it lands like this, that might do downward rotation because that pulls scapula this way. Does it make sense? However, in reality, attachment is just medial, like 1/3 medial of scapula. So this attachment brings scapula to upward rotation. Very, very important. Let me erase this color, then let me explain again. Alright, once again, axis of rotation is about here. Then upper fiber does upward rotation. That's easy to visualize. How about lower fiber? Lower fiber attaches to about this part. Then when lower fiber pulls scapula this way, then upward rotation happens. It's like this movement. Now it's a little bit easy to visualize from, like 3 minutes ago, don't you think? This is trapezius. Upper fiber and lower fiber do upward rotation. Let's go to next one. Next one is this one. This is serratus anterior. serratus anterior that attaches to rib cage, then it attaches to medial part of scapula. It's like this. Imagine serratus anterior runs like this. So when serratus anterior pulls scapula this way, that brings scapula to upward rotation. It's easy to visualize, right? Because axis of rotation is here. When this muscle pulls scapula this way, yep, it goes to upward rotation. Let me change picture, then it's even more easy to visualize, right? Serratus anterior pulls scapula this way, then upward rotation. Where is axis? Axis is about here. See, this is axis of upward rotation, downward rotation. Wait a minute. Above this axis of rotation, there's still serratus anterior. It's here. Yep. Upper fiber of serratus anterior actually does downward rotation. Imagine axis is about here. Inferior from this axis, this part does upward rotation. Then upper part, above from this axis, that does downward rotation. So serratus anterior is actually important both for upward rotation and downward rotation. I explained two muscles, actually three parts, right? Trapezius upper fiber, lower fiber plus serratus anterior. Most part of serratus anterior does upward rotation and upper fiber does downward rotation. Upward rotation and downward rotation are very important for scapular movement plus shoulder movement. That is why it's important to understand kind of a kinesiology of movement. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment and subscribe. See you next video.